Virginia Jets fans, this is your club president, Adam, and I am recording live from the studio apartment here in Newport News, Virginia. We all know what's coming up this Sunday. We've got the 6-3 New York Jets traveling to Foxborough, Massachusetts to take on the 5-4 New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. The Jets have lost 13 straight games to New England. They have not won a game in New England since 2010, the infamous divisional playoff game, the can't wait game. It is time for those streaks to end, or is it? We're going to break all the matchups down, but I want to give another number first before we even get into the matchups. If the Jets win this game, they will be tied with the Miami Dolphins for first place in the AFC East. The Jets will technically be in first place because they've already beat Miami in the head-to-head. And according to the New York Times playoff simulator, the Jets would have an 85% chance of making the playoffs. 85%. If they lose this game, they likely will drop to last place. They would be tied with New England. New England would have the tiebreaker. And then the Jets' playoff chances would plummet down to 54%. 85%, 54%. This game is gigantic. All right, so let's get into these matchups. We're going to start when the New York white and black wearing Jets have the football. One of the reasons Zach Wilson did so well against Buffalo is because he had quick reads. He looked at his first receiver. Mike LaFleur found a way to get that receiver in space, and a lot of times it worked. Quick passes. You know, when Zach gets into the most trouble, it's because he's holding the ball for 3 to 4 plus seconds, and he's just desperate to make a play. That's when he gets a little bit reckless, and that's what we as Jets fans have collective heart attacks. So what I would expect the Patriots to do is to try to bump the wide receivers right off the line of scrimmage, particularly Garrett Wilson. Last time Garrett torched New England, 6 catches for 115 yards. The Wilson-to-Wilson connection is working. It is absolutely buzzing right now. If I'm the Patriots, I would actually consider doubling Garrett Wilson and daring Elijah Moore or Denzelmims to beat the secondary. Corey Davis will not play in this game. 3rd straight game missed with a knee injury. He is expected to be back next week against Chicago. So count on, like I said, Mims, Moore, maybe a lot of passes to Ty Conklin. Ty Conklin has the 2nd most targets and the 2nd most receptions among all Jets players. Conklin has been relied on in this offense, and I think it's going to be just as much the case this Sunday. And another thing about the offense, a lot of people, when they talk about the last game, they talk about Zach Wilson. Well, the run game to me struggled just as much and needs to make just as big an impact. Last time the Jets ran the ball 15 times. 15 times for 51 yards. By comparison, Zach Wilson threw the ball 41 times. That is never going to win. That is not how the Jets win games, and it's not how they're going to win against this particular defense, which specializes in their pass rush. So New England, here's one of the things about them. They've allowed the 6th most rushing yards in the league to wide receivers this season. So maybe an end around to Braxton Berrios could work. Maybe even handing off the ball to Elijah Moore at some point could work also. The offensive line of the Jets needs to do a better job against the Patriots' defensive line. Against Dietrich Wise, number 91, who had a big pass defense in the last game where otherwise the Jets would have converted a 3rd down. Also, Lawrence Guy, number 93 on the defensive line, very good player as well. Nate Herbig, the Jets' right guard, does have a shin injury. He is currently listed as questionable as I record this, but you know what? If he's questionable, I'm assuming he's playing. The biggest player on the Patriots, like we mentioned, Matthew Judon, number 9. He wears the red sleeves himself. He's got 11.5 sacks this season. He did not have a sack against the Jets, though. No sacks and 2 tackles. That's all he was able to do against the Jets. The Jets need to do the exact same thing against him this time around. The Patriots do have a very good secondary. They allow the lowest completion percentage in the NFL. Devin McCourty is really the leader, the captain of that secondary. He had 2 interceptions off Zach last game. Even if his physical abilities aren't at the best that they've ever been, he's incredibly smart and a great leader. He actually has 33 interceptions in his whole career. It better not hit 34 this Sunday. All right, now let's do what we always do. We're going to flip the script. When the Patriots have the ball against the Jets defense, well, the Patriots offense has really been struggling. They are 26th in the league with 320 yards gained per game. Mac Jones is averaging just 190 passing yards per game, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. We as Jets fans all know it's really 8 interceptions. You know, the pick 6 by Michael Carter last game, but the referees took that away. Not that we're bitter. The Jets had 6 sacks last game against Mac Jones. They pulverized him, and they embarrassed the Patriots' offensive line. 8 quarterback hits. 3 of the sacks were by Quinnenwilliams. He dominated rookie left guard Cole Strange. So if number 95 is lined up against Cole Strange against the left guard, watch that matchup because we got to see if Quinnen can exploit him yet again. Now, the Patriots' offensive line is really in flux right now. Their center, David Andrews, is expected to come back for this game from a concussion. But Isaiah Wynn, their right tackle, he has been benched multiple times. Right tackle Marcus Cannon, their other right tackle, he allowed 5 pressures against the Jets last game. He is not going to play this game. He's got a concussion as well. But the right tackle and the left guard, those are the 2 spots on the Patriots line that may be a little bit extra vulnerable. So Quinnenwilliams on the inside. On the outside, we're looking at guys like Bryce Huff, like Jermaine Johnson to make an impact. Okay, now probably the most dynamic player on the Patriots offense is rhomandrestevenson, number 38, their running back. Last game, he had 7 catches for 72 yards, 71 yards on the ground. So what that means to me is the linebackers, when they have a chance to tackle him, they got to wrap him up and take him right down. Quan Alexander, Quincy Williams, C.J. Mosley. The linebackers have to have a big game here for the Jets. No mistakes, wrap up those tackles. As far as wide receivers go, Jacoby Myers is the Patriots' leading receiver. For the year, he has 40 catches for 457 yards, 3 touchdowns. But how did he do against the Jets, you might wonder? Well, I'm glad to tell you. 2 catches for -4 yards because Sauce Gardner shut him down. No other Patriot wide receiver this year has 20 catches, or any tight end has even 20 catches. Now, they are expected to get back Devontae Parker, number 1. Very good deep threat, red zone threat, so I'll be watching number 1. Now, the running game is pretty interesting. The Patriots are 26th in yards per attempt with 4.07. The Jets are 5th in the league in 4.04 yards allowed per attempt. So it's pretty tough to figure out how the Patriots are really going to try to move the ball on the Jets in this game. But I could see a lot of short passes. Mac Jones is a terrible quarterback when he tries to throw the ball deep. I would expect the Patriots to work the middle of the field. Maybe Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, their tight ends, get a little bit more use this game. No Sheldon Rankins for the Jets at defensive tackle. That is a loss. I would expect Solomon Thomas to get a lot more usage, maybe Nathan Shepard. But I expect a pretty steady rotation of Shepard and Thomas, and maybe John Franklin Myers on passing downs sneaks in a little bit to the inside as well. All right, I've got a few other game notes, and I want to spend a few minutes on these. The Jets are plus 58 point differential in the 4th quarter. To give you an idea of how dominant that is, the next closest team to them is the Minnesota Vikings at plus 23. The Jets are at plus 58, the Vikings are at plus 23, and the Vikings are 2nd in that stat. Now, one of the other big things that happened in the last game that I don't think has been getting talked about as much is the starting field position. The last time the Jets played the Patriots, the Jets started, on average, on their own 20-yard line. The Patriots started on their own 43-yard line. What does that come down to? The turnovers. You know, the penalties, the short drives, sustaining long drives. If you turn the ball over, you know, the other team is going to have that much shorter of the field. And the Jets defense actually did a really good job after those turnovers. They kept keeping the Patriots out of the end zone. Nick Folk just made those 5 field goals. So, you know, you can't fault the Jets defense for that. Another thing I want to mention is penalties. So the Patriots have taken the least penalties in football, 37 in 9 games for 326 yards. Another big thing to keep in mind. But again, the turnovers, the Patriots are very weird with turnovers because we always think of the Patriots as a team that doesn't beat themselves, right? Well, the Patriots for the season have 17 takeaways, but also 17 giveaways. They're in the top 5 in terms of the most giveaways and takeaways in the league. So while they can turn you over, their quarterback in particular is very prone to turning the ball over, and we've seen how good the Jets are at turning the other team over. Taking advantage of those opportunities is so big, especially when the referees don't take it away from them. Okay, now let's go to our club notes. 1 p.m. We are back at AJ Gators this Sunday. We're going to be doing a premium raffle, so bring your cash. If you would like to do electronic payment, you could do PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, just let me know. We'll take care of that for you, but we're going to have some great prizes. And by the way, the next week against the Chicago Bears, we're going to be doing trivia. We know it's going to be right after Thanksgiving, so we'll see what kind of turnout we get. I hope to see you at both games and every game the rest of the season. This is an exciting year. This is an exciting team, and it's probably the biggest game the Jets have played in over a decade. Let's show up. Let's show out. Be loud. Be proud. Go Jets.